So games are already skipping out on ray tracing on the next-gen consoles because it's too expensive. They could do it, according to developers, but it's too expensive. We're just starting next generation. The thing they've been touting the most is ray tracing. Let's get into it.
Skip it up and that up.
So before everyone considers me a hater or says I'm being an alarmist, look, I absolutely love the Demon's Souls gameplay that I've been seeing. It's going to be one of the first. I already have a pre-order. So I'm really psyched for this game. But one of the things that has been concerning me, we heard that Devil May Cry 5 for the Xbox Series S won't have ray tracing. And there's Yakuza Like a Dragon is running at 900p if you want to get 60 FPS on the Xbox Series S. And I understand that Yakuza's engine is not well optimized. I get all that. And a lot of people thought I had a really bad take with the Series S, but I still stand by it. There's no reason in 2020 that a game should be running at sub-full HD on any piece of hardware that is being deemed next generation. I don't care if it's the bargain version of Microsoft's next-gen console. I still think my take isn't bad. And you guys know I admit when I think I'm wrong. So anyway, well, Demon's Souls does look amazing, but the game's creative director, David Gavin, was speaking to Level Up, and guess what? Demon's Souls ain't going to have ray tracing. Ray tracing is the feature that both Sony and Microsoft have been shoving down our throats for the past year and a half, and games at launch aren't going to have it. Anyway, I'm going to read to you what David Gavin said to Level Up, and then we will discuss. It's not because we couldn't or because the PlayStation 5 couldn't do it. It's fully capable of doing it, talking about ray tracing, but he also says there's a cost to adding it in. It's like any other graphical improvement. There is a cost to implement ray tracing. If we had implemented ray tracing in the game, that would mean that we would have to leave something out. There is a limited time in game development. Also, Demon's Souls is going to have two different modes. It's going to have a cinematic mode, which is going to run at 4K 30 with better visuals. And it's going to have a 60 FPS mode, which is going to run at 4K, but it's going to be a dynamic 4K, which I'm okay with that. I've seen the 60 FPS gameplay, and I think it looks incredible. Now, I know the argument that's going to come up, and it's a valid one. I'm not dismissing it. Rich, the consoles are new. Ray tracing is a relatively new tech to the gaming industry, and developers are wrapping their minds around it and how they're going to implement it and make it run properly and make it more efficient and not as expensive and demanding on the hardware. I understand all that, but when you've been ray tracing has been the big thing with both Sony and Microsoft, and they even say 8K, which I knew from the beginning was BS, and 120 FPS, which isn't BS. There's already games on the Series X we've seen running at 120 FPS. It's just like, here is the thing. Stop touting a feature, Sony and Microsoft. I get you need to have a buzzword, just like Apple with the new iPhone 12 is 5G is finally real, or whatever they're saying is, when it's really not. There's barely any 5G service throughout the United States. You have to have a marketing buzzword to bring people in, but when you have a remake of a PlayStation 3 game, yes, it looks like it's from the ground up, it's a totally new game, and it is. When you have a PlayStation 3 remake on a console that's 2 generations ahead of it, and you talk about ray tracing, you're saying ray tracing is going to be such a big thing, and then we see Spider-Man Miles Morales with cut down ray tracing, it's lower res ray tracing, and then Demon's Souls doesn't have ray tracing at all. I understand that, they're trying to get this game out for launch, but it's like ray tracing is one of the big draws to next-gen systems, and you're not even going to have it on Demon's Souls, which is a remake of a PlayStation 3 game. You would think it would have been easier to implement it there, but it is what it is. I'm hoping that a year from now, ray tracing will be effortless, and every game that comes out will have some form of ray tracing, and it'll be very impressive. But if we're already seeing that it's expensive now, when game engines get more demanding, how much more expensive is it going to get? And is the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and especially the Xbox Series S, going to be able to handle ray tracing? We'll have to wait and see. And hopefully the limitations of these consoles don't hold back PC gaming and ray tracing on PC gaming. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Have a good one. Hey, if you enjoy my content, consider becoming a Review Tech USA member. I'll have a link below in the description. I live stream now on this channel all the time, and it gives you access to cool emoticons to use as well while I live stream. Again, link below in the description. Thank you for your continued support.